Hi, welcome to the Pursuit of Truth. It's going to be a quick one today. I was just thinking about the reasons why people don't challenge things, and why a lot of us are not really are aware of all these issues. And I don't just mean truthers, I mean issues in general with how life is. And yet we moan about things, but we don't do things. And you see this even on a smaller scale when you look at where you work. The manager or the company would have some policy that maybe in some areas it will be one way, another area another way. That's an injustice. It's not, one person's following a different set of rules than another. And people will moan about it and say, oh, this is not right, blah, blah, blah. But a lot of the time they won't do anything about it. And it shows you the mindset of us. Now, is this a mindset that is natural, or is this a mindset that has been generated? Is it just a product of the way we're brought up? Because as babies we know nothing, and we're taught by parents and by state how to behave. To a lesser degree, it is taught to be subservient, isn't it? A child must obey their parents, must be good at school. Not in a bad way, obviously, but what I mean is that even done in goodness, that's why we are generally, we follow rules very easily, and when we don't question things, we trust. That's another thing, isn't it? We don't want to. Even if you look in the normal sense, in reality, say a husband and wife, when one of them has an affair and they don't want to, a friend tells them about it and they don't want to believe that their partner could have done that. Why is that? That's because of trust, because we believe the best in people. And I must admit, when I was talking about this before about, I don't want to believe in the government and this, that and the other could lie and this, that and the other because I believe in them, and I thought, don't I sound silly for saying it like that? But no, that's how we are as human beings. We're brought up to trust. That's why in issues, when someone betrays you, you at first you find it difficult to believe. You can't think, well, why would that person do that? People have been married and in love, and they think, well, why would the other one cheat on them? Why would they do that? They love me. Why would they do that? They wouldn't do that. This other person is lying. And that's just in that small scale. That's the same when you think of why would the government lie? Why would, people say something that isn't true? So when it comes to these issues where people challenge things, it's very difficult because we have this belief, we have this trust. And like I was saying, when you're at work, people, sometimes they will go and moan, they will say something, but they'll be met with, it won't be resolved. If they're lucky, that the person in charge will see, oh yeah, there's an injustice, that's not right, I'll change that. But often they then have to go to someone else, and they won't do that because that person's more powerful than them, and they don't want to rock the boat. Everyone wants to keep status quo, and that's part of the problem. We all want to keep status quo. Despite we all know that the way we're living doesn't have to be the way we're living, and the way we're living is not great for everyone. It's very good if you're very rich or very powerful, but if you're poor or not powerful, you can't do half the things you should be able to do in life. What's stopping you from doing everything that everyone who is rich and powerful can do? Well, the fact that you don't have those two commodities. Well, why should it be like that? But that's what I'm saying, that's the problem. That's why it's difficult for people to challenge things, and it's easier, if you start challenging these things and you see the world isn't in this place, and then you feel that you can't trust anyone. And that's why a lot of people then don't commit, because they don't want to not believe in everything. They have to challenge everything, and that's the truth, really. In reality, in this way we're living, you have to challenge everything. And a lot of the times you won't know what really is true or not, because you can only really know yourself what is true and what's not. You can't really know the mind of another person or the heart of another person. But that's why I think it's very difficult for things to ever change, because people aren't revolutionary in their behaviour. They aren't anarchists. People are followers. We're like sheep. We're not lions. That's why, if we were, then no society would work, because everyone would be squabbling all the time, and that's part of how we have cohesion. But it's also a problem, and it allows those people in power, who are rich, to maintain their thrones, and us to to only ever look up and moan to each other about small little things that we could actually change those small little things, but we won't. So we're never going to change the big things. Never as a collective are we ever going to change this life that we're living, no matter how cruel it is. And that's a shame, really, and I don't see how we could ever get around that, because it's the mindset that we're brought up with, unless this mindset can be changed. But I don't know how it would be changed, because the people who, for large degrees set this mindset are schools and the media, and both of those have connections with government. So I don't see, they're never going to start teaching people at school how to be revolutionary, how to be anarchists, how to challenge everything. They're never going to say, well, what I'm teaching you now, you need to challenge it. No, they're going to say, I'm telling you what is right, you listen and understand and learn. What do they call it, that kind of teaching? Parrot fashion. That says it all, really, doesn't it? So I don't see, even if more people woke up, even if the truth was seen by everyone, would everyone actually do anything about it to get a better life? Because to get a better life, you need to fight. And if you need to fight, that means you might die. Or you might suffer, attacks of other means, because, it doesn't, in this life, it's not all about dying. You can be attacked by many ways and stopped, They can make stories up. They can make your life difficult. So I don't see people wanting to go through that. So I think even if people do know, people do know, isn't it? I'm sure if I went and asked the average person how their life is, and whether their life is really as they'd like it, and whether they think that people on the planet generally live a good life, whether it could be better, I'm sure a lot of them would say, yeah, it could be better. But what are you going to do about it? Well, there's nothing I can do about it. Well, there you are, there's a problem. Whereas in reality, if there was more people who wanted change, that change would take place, because there's more of us. But we'll never see that, because we see ourselves as powerless as individuals. And that's part of the problem, isn't it? Because we're not individuals, really. If we all have the same mindset, we're a group, we're a collective, and then there's more of us. I don't want war, I don't want fighting. What I want is a better world for everyone. The world that we should all be getting at this moment, that is possible for everyone, because there's everything on this planet should be divided between all of us. It shouldn't be that people take bits of land and call it their own, and then, now you've got to pay for water, now you've got to pay for this, that and the other. It shouldn't be like that. That's not the way it's meant to be. What it's meant to be is that everyone lives. If one of us finds a cure, why do we only tell, if you look at it this way, if you found a cure, you're only going to tell 10 people on your street, you're not going to tell the people on the next street. Well, that's the same as it is worldwide. We have a cure, why aren't we passing it on to other people? Oh, no, you have to pay for it. Oh, you're living on the street, you don't have a house, you have to pay for them. Oh, no, we'll give you free money, we'll give you £100 a week to live on. Oh yeah, you can't even get a flat for that. But we're giving you something, isn't it? Come on. When are we all going to wake up and see that this life isn't the way it should be, and that only we can change it, if we want? Otherwise, stop moaning then. Take care, take it easy. God bless and peace.